Next in line, students, are the characteristics of business that can be well memorized as PP sure, where the first P stands for production or procurement of goods, the second P standing for profit earning, the third S standing for sale or exchange of goods and services, U stands for uncertainty, amount of risk in the business, R denotes risk, another R tells about regular basis of business, and E standing for an economic activity. Yes, students, so all these characteristics, let us see what NCERT has to say on this topic. So here the very first point is regarding the P, that is production or procurement of goods and services. It says that as the business grows, it needs to either produce or procure it from different sources. Either the business produces it by self or it somehow takes care of the supply by procuring the required materials from different sources. Another P is standing for profit earning. Students, profit earning is the very basic element of any kind of business, because business is always done with a profit motive in mind. So with a cost, there has to be a profit margin at which the goods or services are rendered. Then S standing for sale or exchange. Either it can be the sale or exchange using the price element or the value that is being attached to the product or the service. U stands for uncertainty. Here uncertainty means the element of risk that is inherent part of any kind of business, students, because it is always depend on future aspects, which is highly unpredictable and highly uncertain. So wherever we will invest the money, the capital, it has to be running with the element of risk. The very next point also talks about the risk factor in the business, where it can be said that any kind of business runs on risk, and basically any entrepreneur gets the reward for risk taking as the profit. So profit is nothing but a reward for risk taking element. And then the another R says about regular basis of the business, where it says that any kind of business is called a business only when it runs on regular basis without any interruption. Then there has to be transactions or sale or purchase of the goods on regular basis. The last element being E, students, where E stands for an economic activity, the very basic characteristic which we saw in the beginning as well. Any business is done with this objective in mind, that is objective of earning money or livelihood from the activities or services being provided. So just remember the characteristics, the 7 characteristics as PPSURRE. Dear students, just remember the objectives of business as MIS PPP. There are 6 objectives of business as given in your NCERT. So MIS PPP, where M stands for market standing, I denotes innovation in the business, S stands for social responsibility undertaken by the corporates, P, P and P, the first P standing for productivity, the second one the profit earning as the basic element of any kind of business, the main objective, and of course another P standing for physical and financial resources. So MIS PPP, let us see what NCERT has to say on this topic. So there are multiple objectives and not just profit making as the sole objective of any business. So as multiple objectives, the business might aim at enhancing its market standing, that is goodwill and reputation in the market, and sometimes capturing the larger segment of the market so as to enhance its standing and making its presence more stronger into the market by offering the products and services at very competitive rates. The second objective might be innovation, students, where it is said that innovative ideas, introduction of new ideas or methods in the way something is done or made so that it stands out from that of your competitor or rivals. Then S is the social responsibility element that is attached in the business, where any business is under obligation to contribute back to the society, and because they are the users of the resources of the society, it's their ethical responsibility as well to carry out the work only in socially desirable and acceptable manner. Then we have the 3 P's, students, where first P denotes productivity, and any business aims at enhancing efficiency and effectiveness. So this element basically says about comparing the value of output with the value of input so as to continually survive and grow and earn profit into the business by enhancing one's effectiveness and efficiency. The next P in line is physical and financial resources as well, where all the resources like plants, machines, offices, and the financial resources means the funds or the monetary investment is well utilized by the enterprise, and they must aim at acquiring these resources according to the requirements and use them in the best possible manner so as to achieve the organizational goals. The last P being the basic, very basic element in the business, that is profit earning. Without this, no business can run. So this is obviously an inherent part, and as we discussed, students, profit is just nothing but the reward for risk taking by the entrepreneur. So any business must earn the amount of profit, the cost or the profit margin must be added to the cost so as to run the business in a profitable manner. So just remember the multiple objectives of business as MIS, PP and P. So students, whenever you are asked about the nature of business risk, you can just remember it as NSURE, where N and S form one single point, then you have U, R and E. So let's see what these letters have to say. The degree of risk is dependent on, no doubt, the nature and size of the business, students, because heavier the nature of the business or larger the size, the more will be the risk factor. Then NS represents nature and size. Then risk is definitely arising due to uncertainties, that is U, denoting U, letter U, uncertainties in the business, because business runs on things that are highly unpredictable, the future which is highly contingent, and thereby the risk factor. Then R denotes the reward for risk taking is the profit, as we discussed, students. So this is the basic element of any kind of business, because any entrepreneur who takes up the risk will anticipate more and more profits as the reward. Then the last one is risk is a very essential part. E denotes the essential part of any business. Without risk, there is no business. So let us see from NCERT now. Nature of business risk, just remember as NSURE, and first one being that it depends on the nature and size of the business. The same thing has been told, that size, the volume of the sale or production will, and greater the volume, the larger will be the risk, amount of risk involved. Then we have S for calling it as N and S denotes this point, students. Then we have U, which talks about uncertainties in the business, because any business depends on future, and in future there can be some natural calamities or change in the demand and supply, or there can be some change in the government policies and procedures, and there can be some enhancement or upgradation of technology. So all these carry an impact on the business, and therefore it is due to the uncertainties. Then we have R representing that it is a reward, reward for risk taking is profit. So here no risk, no gain, no profit, no gain, no pain, no gain. We can hear all these things. So whenever there is greater the risk, there has to be higher profits, and any entrepreneur anticipates that. Then the last one is risk is an essential part. It is always present no matter what kind of business you are running. No business can avoid the risk altogether, but the size or the degree of risk varies from business to business. So just remember the characteristics of business risk as NSURE, NSURE. The very last segment from this chapter, student, are the different causes of this business risk or the uncertainty element in the business, which can easily be remembered as HONE, H-O-N-E. Hone is basically to sharpen or to polish the skills. So you can use this word as causes of business risk. Here H represents the human causes, O representing some other causes which are not covered in these three, N denotes the natural causes of the risk, and E says about the economic causes. So let us see from NCERT. So the very first one is the human cause, students, where it includes any kind of unexpected events like due to dishonesty, carelessness or negligence on the part of the employees, where it leads to stoppage in the work, in maybe due to power failure or strikes or riots. So all these things are under the control of human beings, and they are the basically cause of business risk. Then we have O representing the other causes. Other causes, we'll discuss it at the end, students, which are not included in this comes under this. So we have another set of causes as natural causes, where the risk element comes from the natural calamities like flood, earthquake, lightning, or there can be heavy rains or famine. So all these leading to destruction to property and the business life as well. So E representing the economic causes. Here economic causes includes everything that comes in the economic part of the country. It can be the demand and supply graph, or it can be the competitive prices, then it can be the change of technology or the methods of production. So all this is included here. Also included are the element of interest rates on the various financial elements, like higher tax rates also are part of economic risk. So this is all covered under the letter E. And the last is the other cause, students, where all the other things come up, like there might be some political disturbances, or there can be some mechanical failures or fluctuations in the exchange rate can also come under this as per NCERT. They are the other causes of the business risks. So just remember the business risks as HONE, HONE, human, other, natural and economic cause.